Nights of heavy rain with thunderstorms still cause me fear and anxiety. I carry with me a childhood trauma. We lived in a house at the lowest part of the street. When it rained heavily, the river that passed behind the house used to swell and overflow, flooding the lower houses. If the rain intensified, the scene was always the same. We would look out the window and see the backyard filling up. There was a great rush to remove the carpets from the floor, put the appliances on top of the chairs, and block the doorways with wooden stakes. Many times, this happened in the middle of the night. That's why, to this day, I get goosebumps when the rain is heavy and the wind makes the door shake. I very often lose sleep if this happens at night. Even though I live in an apartment building, I feel again as if the floodwater is going to come in at any moment through the gap in the living room door. Unfortunately, many families suffer from disasters like this, especially for developing countries. It is terrible to see your material possessions being destroyed without being able to save them. And the mud that remains the next day is enough to make anyone desperate, whether because of the smell or the thick dirt. Just as a flood rushes into unprotected houses, the problems of life invade us without warning and without offering any chance of escape. We are left adrift, which is a breeding ground for anxiety and fear. Where should we go? Storms come, but they do not last forever. Whether you are in the midst of a crisis or anxious about the moment it may afflict you, make a conscious choice to remain with your feet firmly planted in the Lord, even if the future scenario seems frightening. Can God do it? God can. Coincidentally, Christ speaks about floods in Luke chapter 6, verses 46 to 49. Take a look. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I tell you? Everyone who comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you what he is like. He is like a man building a house, who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when a flood arose, the stream broke against that house and could not shake it, because it had been well built. But the one who hears and does not do them is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation. When the stream broke against it, immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. If we make a list of the certainties about the Christian life, one of the first will be storms will come. Search every corner of the Bible, and you will not find a single promise of prosperity, peace, or victory without affliction and struggles. It is part of the journey in a fallen world, unfortunately. But the good news is that we can feel safe even in the midst of chaos if our foundation is on the rock, which is Christ. Those who hear the Master's voice and do what he instructs and commands will not be shaken. Instead of surrendering to the waves of anxiety, fear, and insecurity, they will remain firm in the words of the one who faced death and conquered. And this condition is available to you. Whether this is a time of solid ground and bright sunshine or of fierce storms, plant your feet on the rock. Fill your heart with the word, pray without ceasing, and trust without reservation.